Every journey has a story, and this is how our story began.
First, we got to talk about the industry a little bit. This industry is just an industry that takes and it wants and it takes and it wants, and you don't see a lot of giving back. To detailers, to the consumers, there's trickery, there's false advertising, there's commercials, but what we want to do differently is just detail.
All my life, been grinding all my life, sacrifice, hustle paid the price, want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why, all my life, I've been grinding all my life, look, all my life, been grinding all my life, sacrifice, hustle paid the price, want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why.
So the story of THOR, the House of Rags, Detail Co., where it all started, how it began. I'm just doing my thing. I was a welder for a decade. I start pro detailing in my garage, ceramic coating, paint correction, all the good stuff. I start filming videos, tutorials, simple things that I learned. I translate it into YouTube videos for everyone watching, because I went to YouTube to discover how to do those things as well. But along the way, I do it my way, do things a little differently. So that's how it kind of translates onto Instagram, YouTube. So we're chugging along. I make a podcast called The Cleaner Cast. We do halftime shows at big events like TRCMA from the Rag Company. We do collabs with P&S Detail products, big brands, big companies. It's a fun time, we're chugging along. But then someone pops up on the internet, and his name's Eddie Cologne. And he just does things differently.
It started about 2023. I had about 100 subscribers. I made this video. The video started with absolute trash. Literally a day later, I got Jamie inboxes me and he slides into my DM, and he says, "Hey man, I want to come on the podcast." That's how this journey started. That's how Jamie and I got connected.
Given his own style of reviews, he has a completely different style than anybody else on the internet. And the dude is just telling the way it is, the way he feels about products, the way he feels about techniques, people on the internet. No one's safe with this man. So I'm like, that's my guy right there. So I hit him up to do a podcast, right? I'm doing a podcast with Mr. Alex THOR, the greatest Canadian cohort of all time. And I invite him on. I'm like, hey man, you do things differently. I send him a clip of a show that I like, a different kind of podcast in a different kind of lane where they argue about certain things. And a couple weeks before the podcast, his wife's stricken with cancer, and it gets real serious real quick. He doesn't cancel. I say, keep coming on. He makes a GoFundMe link. I said, we're gonna put that in the description. We're gonna call it the pink episode. Everyone's gonna wear pink, and we're gonna represent for the Cologne family. And this is before I even talked to him on the phone or the podcast or anything. So we first talked live on the Cleaner Cast on that podcast, and he tells us the story of how he built EC Details and his family, and how they were stricken with this terrible disease that is cancer. And we have a great time, and we start a friendship that I think is gonna change this industry forever.
Cancer sucks. That's how it started. So I told Jamie, hey man, I just found out that my wife got cancer. It's literally the second life-changing thing that happened to me. The first one was like, why is this man reaching out to me? I have 100 subscribers. My camera looks like the Blair Witch. I'm shaking all over the place. The next week, I find out my wife has an aggressive breast cancer. That episode was the forever episode for me. It was the one that I said to myself, if I would do anything in the industry, it would be with this guy. He was the first one to reach out. He was the first one to allow me to share my voice. He was the first one to help my wife. He was the first one to bring us all together to start the pink episode. And during that time, it took the journey to another place. We went from the pink episode to the detail roast to separating a different podcast so I didn't get him in trouble with my words, to coming back together. And throughout this whole time, the one thing that him and I always agreed on is we give a lot, but a lot doesn't give back to us.
Me, Eddie, and the boys had a boatload of podcasts, some of the biggest podcasts I think that's ever been done in the detail industry. We had a lot of fun. We introduced brands, we launched products. We were making quite a stir with just some little funny podcasts on the internet. So Eddie hits me up eventually, probably 6 months later after the original Pink episode. He's like, I want to make my own pads and compound. I'm like, good luck with that. So he keeps working on that. He's like, what are you doing? You know, you get literally millions of views for companies that aren't giving you much back.
We do reviews. We bring companies into the United States. We talk about it, they've never been talked about. We highlight them, we bring them up. We try to bring the companies that are struggling up. We do reviews, we're honest, we try to be forthright. And frankly, we got tired. We got tired of the industry, frankly, honey dicking us. So we sat down one day, and this is coming full circle. He texted me back and he said 2024.
I'm like, yeah, that's just how it goes, right? And he's like, we can change that. It starts with pads though. And I'm like, you work on that, hit me up when you're ready with something a little bigger, you know what I'm saying? So he keeps working in the background. I keep winning microfiber championships, and I just keep on going, you know, making content, having fun, enjoying the ride. But eventually you do kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Eddie hits me up again and he's like, let's do it. You do the towels, we'll start working on the chemical line, we'll get the pads, we'll get the polishers, let's just do it all.
2024 comes around and it begins. I introduce him to what I'm working on. I talked to him about what we should do. And I said, what would be cool with Jamie is if you took the love of your towels and the way you enjoy towels. Like, the guy loves towels. Believe it or not, he doesn't just make videos on them. He loves a good microfiber. And he created the House of Rag towel line, just him. Only towel I picked was the GOAT, and you'll see what that looks like. And then I said, what if we took it further, right? And I talked to my mentor. He's like, you should take it further, man. You should really hone in. You should really show people how good you are at creating the chemical, show people how good you are at testing, show people how good you are at working with the chemist. And we worked with 3 chemists. We fired one because he called us peasants. And these other 2 chemists we put head to head. And everything from our soap to the interior cleaner to the protector was our idea, was our testing, was our notes, was our constant back and forth. I mean, the struggle of having to try to foam soap that didn't foam for the 7th revision, back and forth. We were getting to the point where we were like, this is never gonna happen. We got stuff that didn't work. That is the birth of Detail Co.
So the journey begins. I start working on the towel designs. He starts working on the chemical designs. He gets the chemicals where they're pretty good, and then he sends them my way. And then we start hitting it back and forth with the chemicals until we basically hate our chemist at this point, and I'm pretty sure he hates us, but it is what it is. You really gotta chase perfection, especially when you're on the level of exposure that we are and the critiques we give to everybody's brand and that kind of deal. And that led us to the House of Rags and Detail Co., where we think we've made the highest quality microfiber, chemicals the industry's ever seen. And we're gonna bring it to the people at some crazy, crazy margins, some crazy, crazy prices, and do it right for the detailers, for the regular consumer, for the DIYers, for the home enthusiasts. And we're gonna bring that education that everybody loves to everybody on YouTube. We're gonna keep that going with the new YouTube channel.
What you see in front of us is a year of hard work, a year of dedication, a year of going back and forth. One of my mentors actually came out with the name Detail Co., the House of Rags. His vision and his discussions and teaching me and talking about the things that we had really got me excited. So the first product we started creating, right? Because the goal was like, let's create a tile company. And I was like, oh, well, how cool would it be if we created our own chemical company too? And the thought of this chemical company is, start with us, get our products at a price that's affordable to you, help you get back ownership of your business as a detailer, and then help the enthusiasts also go to one place to get chemicals that are good. And that's how this journey started. Jamie and I got together, created Detail Co. for you, not just for us, but for you, the community. That's our present back to you. That's our Mona Lisa. You all know me as the man that loves to give back to the community. This is my gift to you. Products at an affordable price that I dare you to put it against anything you have right now. Let me know.
And we're not done yet because we're bringing in all our favorite brands. Labo Cosmetica, this got brought to the US. No one wanted to deal with them. They had the best soap system in the game, got the best carpet cleaning system because they're based in science. And the critique was their bottles weren't cool enough. Something's wrong with the industry. When a company has some of the best stuff in the market today, but you don't bring it to the US because the bottles aren't cool enough. So that's what THOR and Detail Co is gonna be all about. Connecting with brands like that, finding hidden gems, bringing science and techniques and real detailing to the consumers. And we're launching worldwide. It's gonna be everywhere. At the end of the day, me and Eddie are just proud to bring the quality we're gonna bring, the brands we're gonna bring, and bring everybody along for the ride.
We wouldn't be the House of Rags with the following brands, and we want to say a few things. Brad and DJ, Armor Detail Supply, the best upcoming company in the United States. Thank you.
Don't forget about Rich and Skylar from Stoner Car Care.
Don't forget about Jeremy from Naziol, first company to take a chance on us.
First one.
First one.
Christian from Bio Bombs, get the funk out. The #1 funk master right there.
And he also is the official scent
The official
of the House of Rags.
That's right.
Oh, we can't forget about Ebon.
Ebon from
Ebon,
IK.
K sprayer, dude, the guy, he's lovable, he's easy to work with.
Best sprayers in the game.
Didn't hesitate. Then we can't forget about Labo Cosmetica. You mentioned them, but Dave Richards, he is our distributor from Canada, but also Reggie. And I want to shout out Marco. Thank you so much for trusting us with your brand. And you know who else we're missing?
Who's that?
Proper Detail and Brush.
Proper Detail Brush.
Yep.
Changing the brush game. 3-in-1. 3-in-1 does 3 things.
Clean Tool from Poland. Shout out to Arthur. He's been working with us hand in hand.
We got Ivan and Nick from DIY
snap.
Detail.
Can't forget the bearded man and Nick McGurk with coming from Hawk Pro and Ivan coming from another company and blending.
2 legendary detailers coming together.
Dude, DIY
Can't beat
details.
that.
Can't.
Yep.
Shout out to Corey from Car Pro from down south. The sky's the limit. Believing in us at the very beginning as well.
Car
You
Pro's
know,
real
him and
picky.
Pablo helping us.
He's on board right from the
He's
beginning.
on Visor.
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 Yeah.
Alon, the US rep. We actually, believe it or not, we're the first ones to buy from him in the United States. Just didn't launch it.
We just weren't ready to launch.
We weren't ready to launch, but we're carrying the full line here
Great
in the United
pads,
States.
Great polishes.
Great products.
Really everything. Yeah,
Great
soaps.
products.
Yeah.
And we
good stuff.
have 2 of our final ones. First of all, I want to thank you for Detail Co.
Hey,
Without you,
what a journey.
We couldn't have made, I would say, some of the best mid-tier professional grade products in the business.
It's gonna be a long ride. And for the
Today.
premium,
For the
Chef's
premium.
Kiss, who we got?
We got
We
Pan
gotta,
Organizer.
we gotta thank Pan the man.
Yep. Clean
Yeah.
by Pan.
He came on board. He was down with the plan. He said, "You guys are exactly right," and he doesn't get more brutally honest than us, even with his stuff. So,
Oh yeah, it's wild.
So he went through the gauntlet with us, testing his stuff. So we made sure it's the Chef's Kiss for everybody out there.
And then just the last thing, shout out to our chemist for dealing with our nonsense. Our chemist has been through the ringer, has been late in the calls, late text. And a lot of yous are gonna say, well, he just being B&B and everything. We don't, ours is custom made to us. We own every single formula. Thank you to our chemist for the long nights, for the struggle, for fixing the soaps that didn't foam. And with that said, everything you could see from our site, go to thehouseofrags.com. You'll find it there, from the microfibers from the genius himself
To the chemical lines.
to the chemical lines,
Whichever one you prefer.
to our partners.
We made sure everything on that site's gonna be money.
One house
One house.
with many brands.
to rule them all.
We're out.
Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life